So here's the basic premise of SpyFu SEO recon files. SEOs get screwed over because 20% of all the traffic, 80% of all the traffic comes from SEO, from organic clicks, and 20% of all traffic comes from paid clicks on Google. At the same time, 80% of all the money gets spent on PPC, and 20% of all the money gets spent on SEO. So it's really not fair. So here's what we did. Given this, given this inequity, right? This kind of ridiculous, difference between the value that SEO delivers versus the reward that that the actual SEO themselves is getting, right? How much they're getting paid. It's not at all fair. My dog is freaking out outside. So bring your dog to work day. Anyway, so actually every day here is bring your dog to work day, and it's kind of an annoying thing when you're doing webinars, but that is the nature of SpyFu. So we asked SEOs. We used our most recent trade show at SES in San Francisco. We basically used it to just get people's feedback. We wanted to know what was really annoying SEOs and why they thought that this inequity occurred. Why is it that they were only getting such a small piece of the pie while they were delivering a pretty big value? And you can watch this video in its full length at my second link, bit.ly/Mr.Spy2. I suggest you look at that. Here's the common frustrations. Basically, I'll distill this video down for you into 4 points. Number one, the biggest problem that SEOs see is that their clients can't understand the full value proposition of SEO. Really, it's easy for them to get what's going on in pay-per-click, right? You buy a keyword, your ad shows up a certain number of times, a certain number of people click on it, and a certain number of people convert once they get to your landing page. It's very, very straightforward. Money in, money out. If you make a return, you make a return. If you lose money, you lose money. But it's all completely it's clear as day, right? Other times, people kind of understand SEO. They obviously understand that increasing their ranks increasing their position on the Google result page is a good idea. And so they understand a certain value proposition, and I think that they basically understand, like 20% of that value proposition on average, right? That's kind of the idea. That's why they only get 20% of the money. The other frustration that we see is that every month the SEOs generally produce a semi-manual report that basically goes into a spreadsheet and has the following things. Has like the keywords that you're trying to rank on, which might be 50 or it might be 10 or it might be 1,000. And then it's got your current rank, your current position, and then however long you've been doing this thing. So if you've been their client for 6 months, then they'll have 6 columns with your position, and hopefully you're improving your position over time. And that's kind of the core of this SEO report, and a lot of people are doing it sort of manually. I mean, there's automated tools and all that stuff, and there's actually like dozens of automated tools that'll just run searches for you. Everybody has those things, but at the end of the day, you're showing customers a spreadsheet with the position, and that's kind of the report. And the problem is that those are tedious, they're time consuming, and they don't deliver a ton of value. At least that's what we've found. All right. The other thing is that when you bring on the other frustration is that when SEOs bring on a client, there's a very high baseline and research cost when bringing them on. So you bring on a client and you want to be able to deliver a huge value to them at the end of the month, right? This is where you want to walk on water. In this first, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 months, whatever, right? The first month you want to deliver a big shocking, oh wow, this is a great value for our company. And instead what you end up doing is spending a lot of time figuring out where they're at today. You have to do all the research to figure out what they should be ranking on, what they want to be ranking on, and then you have to like basically build a report to do that baseline. And so that eats up like at least half of your, of your first month of work for them. And in a lot of cases, it actually is more work than you're going to put in the following months, and that's a difficult thing to sell. Finally, SEOs, unlike PPCs, unlike even any other form of advertising, at least digital advertising, they're really at the mercy of the algorithm, Google's algorithm. So when you go to your client, you're thinking, hey, you know what, I think we have something to add, some value to add, right? So let's go pitch to our client. Let's say, how about you guys, double what you're spending on SEO this month? How about you say, let's go after this opportunity. Well, so you get this all planned, and you go in and you sit down with the client, and then you show them your current month's SEO report, and guess what happened? On their #1 keyword, the most important keyword, you went from 5th to 9th. And so you spend the first half hour of your meeting where you're trying to sell them, explaining to them why you went from 5th to 9th. Because there's this volatility in these rankings, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And SEOs, I think, hate that, and I don't blame them at all, because that sucks when you're trying to manage a client relationship. So what if, so this brought us to our what ifs, right? What if we could make it as easy for clients to understand the value proposition of SEO as it is to understand as it is PPC? And what if we could completely eliminate this baselining concept? What if we had, from day one, from day 3 months ago, you talk to your client, you've never even met your client before, but we already have, all of the keywords and all of the rankings for their domain already, right? What if we already had that? What if that could be done? What if we could streamline the research? So if you're planning a content campaign, if you're doing this SEO thing, you're going to build some articles, you're going to maybe, try and get them increased in their ranks on a bunch of stuff. You have to do a lot of content planning. And the first thing you do is break all those keywords that they want to rank on into groups so that you can write articles about them. Well, that's where Keyword Groupie hops in.